So right now I am in my Canva account, and what you're looking at is my handwriting sheets for children practicing writing their name. And up to this point, I've been using, as you can see right there, the KG primary dots. This is a Canva premium account, which I will always pay for because I definitely use it enough to be worth it. And I can write it off because I have a business. But what I want to start doing is using this type of font, which I wanted to check to see what it's called. It's called the KG Primary Penmanship. So what I want to do, because I've been noticing that when I use this one, the primary dots, they're not really connecting the dots as much as they are just kind of coloring the lines. And I want to get them into the place where they're actually connecting that it's their name and it's a letter that they're trying to write and not just simply coloring. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go back to the template that I've made for doing tube animal handwriting extension. I'll show you that in just a moment. And I'm going to change it out to this KG primary penmanship. All right, so you're looking at my Write the Room, and as I mentioned, what I'd like to do is I'm going to create a template where I have the names from the tube animal activity that I'm going to put in here. And then I'm also going to try to find a picture in Canva of similar type of animal so that the children can equate that that word is the name of that animal. So let's start with boxer. As I showed you in the last one, I'm going to change it from KG primary dots to KG primary penmanship. So let me see if I can find it quickly. Okay, perfect. All right, and then I'm going to lighten it up a bit so so it indicates to them that they need to trace over it. And then this is where I'm going to put the picture. So right here, let me change the word to boxer. And I'm going to come in here. Let me see if I can. Don't know whether I want to put the line back or just leave it as is. I might just leave it as is. Okay, and then for right there, I'm going to go over to elements. I'm going to type in boxer. Oh, that's a pretty good rendering. Click on that. And then shrink it down to size. And then where it says A, that's where I'll put the boxer at. I might even take out that box so they can see it. And there you have it. So that's what I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to work on that. And then I have to do it for the landmarks around the world, and I have to do it for the dogs. And we'll see how long it takes for me to get that done. All right, so this is the completed version of that tube activity that I've made created a written extension for. It probably took me all told about 20 minutes. As you saw in the video, I suddenly realized, and I kind of knew this, but I forgot because it's been a while, that once you change something in Canva, it gives you the option to change all, and I completely forgot. So I probably could have shaved off at least 5 minutes of that. So then what I'll do is I print this off, and then I will make copies of it and have it available on the shelf. And I'll give you a peek into my classroom in the next video. But so then and this is the great thing about Canva. So now that I've done all that work, what I can do now is duplicate that page. And now I'm going to do the same thing for that around the world activity. So I pull up that activity. And then you might have noticed I was starting to do that already. Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Eiffel Tower, Big Ben, Empire State Building. And then I'm going to change it out here. So I've already put in, let me click back, Leaning Tower of Pisa and Eiffel Tower. Now I'll change this to Big Ben, Empire State Building. So as you can see, now that I have the template, other than maybe adjusting the size of the font, yeah, I just have to, copy it or type it in, and then find the pictures and then add them on. So this is something that I've found, especially as the children get more acclimated to the classroom, they do really like the idea of being able to write. And then as you're teaching, because vocabulary is actually a really big thing in Montessori, trying to teach actual language of what they would see or, experience in the world and that kind of thing. And so it's good to also be able to kind of reinforce that. And the way I've found is really a great way to do that is to take the time to put the picture next to the word, next to the word that they've written. And then, I just have this vision in my head that at home, it opens up a conversation at the dinner table or in the car where, when children say, when you ask your children, oh, what did you do today? Excuse me. And they say, oh, sorry about that. And they say nothing. You can pull out this page and go, well, looks like you've written the names of dogs. And that again will help jog their memory, like, oh yeah, I learned the names of these dogs, and and get them excited about it again. So again, these are the ways I dream that we reinforce the work that is going on in the classroom. So let me continue on with this, and if you have any questions about this, just make sure and put it down in the comments. All right, so I've completed the Around the World extension, writing extension. And so I'm going to go ahead and download it. Again, it's one of those things where each time you do something, it's like, okay, well, I've typed it in here. I can just copy and paste it over there. So that also shaves off some minutes. So like I said, it's one of those things that if you ever wanted to create your own products or your items for your classroom, it definitely helps to do it in batches, because you get the hang of what you're doing, and to copy and paste, and to you get faster and faster. And then like I said, it's been a couple weeks since I've done an activity like this, created it from scratch. So then it takes me a lot longer to get it done. But then once I got it, it's like, all right, just get it, keep it moving, right? So okay, so now I'll show it to you here, and then I'm just going to print it off, and then I will make copies of it at work. So from there, and like I said, it's just a nice little conversation starter for home as well, which I really do like. And then it just, is an opportunity for children to dream and talk about, where they'd like to go in the world, you know what I mean? So, just my little place in the world where I'm trying to, expand the world and help children to see outside of themselves, outside of their community. And so with that, I have to get myself ready for work. All right, so I came to school to make the copies. And I'm a little bit disappointed. I feel like this will work out okay, and it's actually coming through fine on the camera, but like these, again, it looks great on the camera, but when you're looking at it straight on, not so great. So I might have to darken it a bit more. So this is the original, and you see how nice that one came out. So I tried to change the intensity on the printer, and it just didn't work out. So all right, we'll just see how it works for today. I might just put up the dog one and then redo this one and bring it tomorrow. We'll see. But I wanted to show you the materials that I created for these two works. So I have it over here on science/botany shelf, and these are the materials from the tube activity that I bought. And then, as I showed you before, I already have the pictures in place, so they match these. And then the extension is going to be doing the writing activity. And I do it in two different formats, so they don't look exactly the same, so that might draw some interest. These are the ones with the dogs. Now, I will say tube is definitely the best quality. I tried to get some from just like a no-name brand, and like the eyes didn't look great, and I was like, ugh, okay. But look at these beautiful pictures. Like the person who made this material did a really, really nice job. So yeah, I'll give you a little tour of this area. So this is, of course, the geography area. We're studying Asia this month. I have some horses out here. And then, of course, the horse puzzle. I did one with, this is where I started with this idea. And as I mentioned to you, the ones that I did before had the dotted line. So they do that, but then when they use the colored pencil, sometimes it doesn't go through very well. But they have the pictures, and they match the pictures to the object. And then they can write the words, and then once they've done that, if they like to do a little imaginative play, I don't really pull back or, hinder them from doing that. And then our life cycles, I usually have 2 out at a time. But yeah, so I am in this morning. I'm going to start prepping. I think I told you yesterday, kind of was a mad flurry because we had observations activity this week. I usually try to do a self-portrait every month, so they did portraits yesterday, which came out really nice. And what I'm doing is at the end of the year, they will all get all of their self-portraits back. And what was interesting is, at the beginning of the year, they did not look as elaborate as this is now, which I'm very, very pleased that they've really taken ownership of self-portraits. So starting last month, I did kind of a prompt where I just cut out circles with different colors from construction paper, and I had them glue it on, and we talked about what goes on a face. How do you create a body? We add the arms, we add the legs, what would go on top of your head, and hair and eyes, and where would the ears go, and that kind of thing. This month what I did is I actually traced the metal inset to put the circle on, and then they were invited over to the metal inset space and pick one of the metal insets that would be their body. So you could see what each one chose. And again, what I love about it is this child in particular was really not into drawing at all. And then look at how much detail he put into that, and actually took a metal inset and put it side by side, which is really fantastic. Here's another child, usually not into creating his self-portrait. This is the first one where you can really see he made an effort to do it. These are a couple of girls who've always been into it. This one was interesting because she's usually more into it, and for whatever reason yesterday she just really wasn't having it. But yeah, I just pick a day in the month. I try to do it at the very beginning of the month, and then this is what we do. Here's another child who normally doesn't really go full out, and then here he did. So the progress on this, at some point I'll show you the book as I put it together. But now I'm going to get on with preparing the classroom for the morning. All right, so I've brought in the clothes that I have from my Goodwill clearance center haul, and I'm just going to go through now, and I'm just going to look for any sort of blemishes and everything like that. Then I either steam them or they go through the washer. The steaming does the same effect as going through the washer. Just sometimes, especially like when they have, like this is Harley Davidson new with tags. If I send that through the washer, it's going to damage this tag. And so what I can do is, because I steam everything as well, I take every effort to make sure there's no germs in, obviously, because that would be gross. But then I go through and I just kind of check it out, and I fold and count, and then sort by color, and then I wash it, and then come back on another day, and then I photograph it all, and then I list it online. I think I mentioned before that I am considering doing Depop again. What I found was so easy for the transition because I was just doing eBay for a while, and then I realized that the Poshmark app had gotten some updates on it, and it made it really easy for me to just take the pictures, upload it, and then they have an AI generator, and it generated everything. And so then I just have to make sure that what it's generated is accurate, and then it's up on Poshmark. So once I do it on eBay, it's very easy to transition it over to Poshmark. So now what I need to see is it just as easy to get it over to Depop? I don't do Mercari because I find that the fees aren't that great, and that people really don't pay much on Mercari. But my real money maker is Poshmark. And then when I did do Depop, especially if I found vintage stuff, it would sell there and on Poshmark, no problem. Whereas on eBay, I felt like I wasn't getting good prices. For example, one time I found like a vintage vest, and excellent quality. And it went like within a week for like $60, no problem. Didn't try to haggle or anything like that, which probably means I underpriced it. But again, when you're getting it for like $1, it's like that's $55 in my hand. That is wonderful for like the things that I want to do, outside of like taking care of our bills and stuff like that. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and start going through this and kind of show you what I got. And again, anything like super money making. It's just a matter of like knowing that this is a low cost buy-in. And so whatever I'm making after I make that initial cost is golden. I have a pretty decent shelving system, or I should say, shelving system that I use so that I can hold on to it for a while. And also it always looks nice to have like a pretty full store so that people have some variety. And I usually have a particular aesthetic that I'm buying for anything anyway. So people will usually, if they buy one, they might buy 2 or 3 because it's things that are around the same kind of aesthetic that they might like. So, all right. So as you saw, this is a Harley Davidson, new with tags, zip up. I'll go through, I will get some keywords and put that together. I'm not going to show you everything. I mean, I'll show it to you, but I probably won't give you a lot of information on it just because I want to really get through this quickly. Although if you do see something you like, you can always let me know. I'll put my links down in the comments. This is Beach Riot for anthropology, and it's like beautiful. You can tell it's like brand new.
this doesn't have a tag on it, but because I'm from this particular era, you can see that it's a vintage dress. It has that tie in the back, which is amazing. And it just looks beautiful and floaty and flowy, perfect for summer. And so, like I said, I'm just kind of getting an account of like how many of each type of item, whether it be a dress or a skirt, or shirts or shorts. This is a beautiful coquette kind of dress. Very nice. I will say that it's fun to go because there are things that I'll find there and I'll go, oh, that'll be great for me. I didn't really find anything like that, but that was pretty close to it. I wouldn't have any place to wear it. I love this because this has a vintage look and it actually has a vintage tag from Weatherproof. So really nice. Blink 182, and again, I think this is mass marketed, but it's got a really cool design, cool retro colors on it, so I thought that would be nice. This I'm going to have to look up, but just from seeing, and I've known this from my experience of selling things, if it's unusual, pick it up. So the brand on it is called Kindred Bravely, and it is a full Velcro front and back garment. Again, it must, I'm sure that there's going to be a certain segment of the community that knows exactly what this is. I've never seen anything like this before, but because it's all Velcroed like this, I know it's something special that I probably can get some decent money for it. So I picked it up. This is an Ann Taylor blouse. And on the back, there's some different, this is pleating on the back, which I've never seen before. What I like about their shirts is that it's soft in the front, and then it's like kind of the silky stuff on the back, or vice versa. There's something about it being different from the front to the back that really causes the shirts from them to lay really well. And again, I would have never known that if I had not found a shirt like that at the bins once upon a time. This is just a St. John's Bay, is it a romper? No, I think it's another kind of sundress. And of course, even though it is February here, February 2nd, these are things that people are going to start looking for very quickly. So it's nice to get it in the shop now. Sometimes I pick up things like this because it's just a nice, nice color tones, and also because it has a cool vibe with the mountains on it. So I picked this up. Again, it might not be anything, but again, sometimes I just like the look of my shop to have certain things in it. This is Old Navy small, and it's like linen-like pants. I don't think it's actually linen, but again, I really love the look of it. Yeah, somebody took out the, wait, let me see. It says wide leg, black, white. Let's see, sometimes it'll say the year, 2020, 21. Again, it doesn't tell me what the fabric tag is, but it has a linen look. So I think, again, for spring and summer, people are going to love that. Let's see, I think I'm going to put this over here, the sweatshirts together. And like I said, once I have everything shown to you, I will count it up. This is just a Hurley brand. Again, it looked nice. Oh, I see there. See, this is when you come back and you see that. It's like, hopefully this will wash out. If not, I will just say it in the description. But really nice feel to them. Oh, let's see what the tag says. It's a 34 size. Decide. But again, like a board short sort of thing. And again, this is what kind of drives me crazy. The downside of like when they take out the tags is like it doesn't have its usual feel to it, but it's very nice. It says, okay, it says it's polyester and elastane, and it's called a pocket bag. Very interesting. And of course, traditional Hurley logo on there. This again was something that didn't really know the brand. It's called True Destination size medium, but I liked the feel of it and I definitely loved the pattern of it. And it's got a nice detail here with some sewing on it. So again, it might be a boutique brand that somebody's interested in. And I will say to you that for me personally, when I'm shopping sometimes, like when you're out and about and you go places and they have these beautiful boutiques and you might not buy it on the spot, sometimes I find myself going to like a Poshmark or an eBay and seeing if I can find someone who maybe has sold, had it for a while and doesn't want it anymore and, ready to pass it on. So I kind of keep that in the back of my mind too, that there might be others doing something like that. This is super interesting. It's called Do Everything in Love. And it's this almost like a shawl or a smock kind of thing. But again, it's like a beautiful fabric. And again, it's interesting, it's different. And I think sometimes you just have to take a chance on stuff like that because that's where you're surprised and you find something new that will, bring a few dollars back into your pocket, This is just a basic Crofton barrow, but again, it has like the embroidery on it. It's a classic black, always in the market for that kind of stuff. These are just some cute little summer shirts. This one is by the brand Willow and Root. It's a size large. Again, super pretty. I didn't take my camera in because I was a little bit shy. I have been to outlets in like 3 different states now, in Colorado, in Virginia, in Ohio, and then here in Arizona. And the first one I went to in Arizona is like way out, like on 35th Avenue. This one just opened maybe a year ago. This is Lauren Jeans Company, Ralph Lauren, and it's a size 14. Anyway, and so all of them are not, all outlets are not the same. Some of them can be really competitive. The ones in Ohio I found to be really nice. And this one actually is like really pretty chill too. Like the very first time I went, I was getting ready to grab for something and someone else was grabbing too, and then they just let go of it and just like pushed it over to me. And I was like, oh, how kind. Here's some PacSun shorts. And like I said, even coming out of the bins, they look pretty decent, which means that most of it will wash pretty well. Here is a cute little eyelet back peekaboo peephole, I guess, dress. Look at how beautiful that is. Just a little cute mini dress, kind of has a 60s vibe to it. Its Exhilaration is the, so not any crazy brand or anything like that. But again, like this is something that why would we just let that go to the landfill? It's a gorgeous dress. So, this one I might wash and keep for myself. It's just a spell out of Hawaii. I mean, why not? And it's a good color, my favorite color, mustard. And this is from American Eagle, extra large, just your classic shirt, men's shirt. This one was very fun. This is a Kookaburra by Uggs. And look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so cozy. It's like a vest hoodie. Very fun. Pretty color. Great condition. This is a Pink Floyd t-shirt. Again, beautiful color. By Lucky Brand, size medium. Ooh, this might be another one I keep. This is so cool. I did not realize it was a Lucky Brand style. So that's great. This one, very funky looking. The brand is So So what? Again, look at that great detail on there. Bodycon dress. Again, slinky, kind of, what do they call it? That liquid kind of look to it. Got 2 more bags. So like I said, I mean, it took me an hour and 15 minutes to gather through this. It wasn't very busy, and I was kind of surprised for a Monday. I thought people would be right on top of it. This is Agile Jeans. Again, it's kind of like got a liquid look to it. It's tie-dye. It's a jogger. Let's see. And then this was really cute. It's just a children's, it says Cruise Wearing Company, 9-month, but look at that, cute. Just like beautiful cottage kind of look to it. I don't pick up kids things, but every once in a while, if I think there's something special, I'll take it and see how it does. This is an XL, rose and olive. Again, really beautiful colors there. This one I found at the very end. It's a torrid dress. It's backless. It has like the tie on the back of your neck. It's got kind of a bow in the, it's a collar in the front, cherries on it, black at the bottom. I mean, perfect little dress. Here, I think it's the last of the dresses. This one is by In Focus, size 8. What do they call it? They call it like, I think it's called like a liquid print, but beautiful floral pattern on that. And then I think these are just basics, so I will go for something that is like a nice size and has like a fun little, this has tiered ruffles on it. It's got an ocean feel to it, so I feel like that's going to be very pretty for someone. Here's one that is called Vent Covert. Again, don't know anything about it, but I love the pattern. It's a nice pattern to it. I think it's going to wash and clean up really nicely. Of course, if you see a Dutch Bros hoodie, especially in my area, you get it. So cute little spell out for Dutch Bros. I think somebody's going to love that. This is a size extra large. Great color. No stains on it. I mean, come on, that one I think is going to go super quick. Then I think I have 2 more things. Here is a dress, MSK, size large. Again, as I said, there's not really anything fancy about any of these things. It is more for me that it's a great price. And therefore I can pass that great price on to you or whoever wants it. And then it puts a little money in our pockets. This one's a Ronnie Nicole, size 18W. I think I'm gonna have to like maybe do some cleaning on the cream to bring it back to its full color. But again, really, really pretty things. So now it's been kind of sorted for me to have a sense of like, so what I do is I'll go, okay, I kind of will go, okay, I think I can get through these shirts quickly. So I'll wash everything and then I'll go through the shirts first and then the dresses and then I just kind of keep them in piles. And I'm very much like, I work with like when I get the energy of it and I just get it and I just get started. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dresses. And then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. All right. So 33 things. So basically this is kind of like my inside of like what I do for this one business that I have. As I told you, I have this business, I have a TPT business, and I'm starting to get into Substack, trying to take some of my expertise from teaching and bringing it over there and seeing what comes together. And so, like I said, I do have quite a few streams of income that I do as a teacher, that I've kind of taken things that I've known along the way and try to use my education for good, you know, not just for the children, but for myself, to build a business so that my family can, you know, be able to do, enjoy the world, go do some things. So, all right, I will come back on in a bit and share a little more with what I'm going to do for TPT today. And then I have my doctor's appointment. See you around. Well, she did it. She at least bowled 2 out of 3 of her games, so that is awesome. Always good to get out, but again, like I said, the drive home is the thing that's kind of the killer for me, because I am not a night owl. I am definitely an early riser, so I just wanted to get on and say, you know, again, this is just your reminder. Make sure you put something on the calendar so that you are doing something to bring yourself some work-life balance. And until I see you in the next one.